In spite of its abundant natural resources, Pakistan faces an uphill task as it prepares to launch a struggle that will affect the lives of millions of people living below the poverty line. It is time to move away from the inequities of bygone years and to create a more equitable society. This will require the combined efforts of all stakeholders. Contrary to perceptions, there are pockets of poverty in the urban areas of the Punjab that are quite shocking. A typical example was the condition of a community that worked with one of the partner organizations of the PPAF in the peri-urban areas of Lahore city. They lived in a hopeless cycle of poverty. They had hardly enough to eat, and they lived in extremely precarious conditions. Every crisis produces that exceptional individual who changes the course of history. In this case, it was Nasreen Beg, who, despite having been abandoned by her father and married off at the tender age of 15 to a drug addict, refused to be overcome by events.
स्टार्ट से काफ़ी मेरी ज़िंदगी जो है ना बड़ी मुश्किल गुजरी थी घरेलू हालात की वजह से। ये एक आधा सूट होता वो उसी में सारी सर्दियाँ गुजारते थे, एक आधा सूट उसी में सारी गर्मियाँ गुजारते थे। और अल्लाह का शुक्र आप कमाया किया है, मेहनत की है, जिसका फल आप देख रहे हैं।
Nasreen fought off degrading poverty and hardship with the support of a PPAF partner organization, which trained her as a social organizer and also extended her a microcredit loan. Today, she is an asset to her community and has been the focal point for helping them with their micro-businesses. Nasreen is battling against blindness, but strangely enough, as her sight gets progressively worse, her vision and her determination continues to grow. Balochistan is Pakistan's least populated but largest geographical province. The rugged and barren landscape is home to many scattered nomadic communities. The scarcity of water and an unforgiving drought that has ravaged most of the districts poses a serious threat to its inhabitants. Even the biggest reservoirs dry up within a short span of time. Unplanned tube wells that have depleted the water level are now a cause for widespread concern. Due to lack of grazing land and absence of water, livestock perished in large numbers, forcing communities to migrate. A heavy price was paid for abandoning the ancient wisdom of the Kares system without proper planning and thought.
The Kares das stasu kam panchirali de dia samkhki kam ala chu de dia Kares obo uchiwi au khatam me bilkul zmj pada kili ki da guzara da chulu de obo ganawi.
However, sense has now prevailed, and the current thinking is to use appropriate technology. The communities have accordingly set about the task of restoring, where suitable, the familiar centuries-old Kares system with the help of local civil society partners. The small community in a remote hamlet in the Pashin district of Balochistan gathers together to discuss the possibilities of rehabilitating an old Kares scheme. The scheme was recently rejuvenated with assistance of PPAF. As a result of their decision, 70 communities will be saved. This time, there will be light at the end of the tunnel. The strength of community-driven projects combine the wisdom gained from real-life experiences with demand-driven needs of the households, whose very survival depends on the success of the venture. Their amazing feats and head-on fight against the onslaught of poverty is worthy of celebration. Deserts carry their own tales of romance and mystery, and the deserts of Pakistan are no different. With their changing seasons and hot and cold winds blowing across the landscape, they represent a contrasting mood, not very different from the people of Thar, who inhabit this arid landscape. Desert communities live in perpetual fear of their water sources drying up. These fears came true for the small village of Ramji Verdi, a remote hamlet in the Thar district. Overnight, their wells and ponds dried up, forcing a third of the population to leave their homes. The lonely struggle of the individual was now reinforced by the collective will and strength of the community. A small miracle was being enacted at the village of Ramji Verdi for all to see. After boring deep down to 1,300 feet against hard rock and unyielding earth, the community at last struck water. The village came back to life. Dhok Tabarak Shaheed is a small community consisting of 100 households and is situated on the outskirts of the capital territory. It was decided to launch an innovative project in this village with support of 2 partner organizations of the PPAF. This pilot intervention saw development as a series of multiple inputs. When put together, it would bring about a chain reaction which would change the very nature of the village. Additionally, it examined the possibility of engaging more than one partner in the project and in resource mobilization.
हम लोगों में इत्तेफाक नहीं था, ना हम कभी मिल के बैठे थे, ना हमें पता, बस अपने पे मसाइल है, बस रोक उड़ के चुप कर जाते थे, बस ठीक है जी ये हालात इसी तरह और इसी तरह रहेंगे, इन्होंने चेंज कब होना है।
हमने सोचा ये ऐसे निज़ाम नहीं, हमारा ऐसी ज़िंदगी नहीं गुजरेगी, इस ज़िंदगी को हम थोड़ा सा इस्तेमाल करें क्योंकि ज़ाया हो रहा टाइम हमारा।
With those brave words, Mubarak Ali set out on his mission to change the fortunes of his village. As a first step, taking the assistance of a civil society support organization, he formed a community self-help group. Once this was done, the rest followed in quick succession.
जब हमने घर घर गए लोगों को इकट्ठा किया तो लोग हमारा मजाक उड़ाते थे, कहते हैं हाँ देखिए तंजीमें क्या करें। फिर जब इधर हमारा काम हुआ, सब काम हुआ, अब हमने कहा अब आप हमें बताएं। मेरे मियाँ कहते हैं हाँ अब ठीक है, अब तुम तंजीम में ही हो।
Today, the children of Dhok Tabarak are going to their own community school. The school may be small, with only 2 rooms, but it has excited them enough to plan for a new school building. Lady health workers are now available to look after the health of mothers and children. The new sanitation facilities, coupled with a clean supply of water, are additional benefits of the integrated project and will contribute greatly to the well-being of the residents and their children. The once dilapidated paths and streets interconnecting the houses have been reconstructed in well-designed and durable concrete. This allows easier passage to the residents and has added to their self-esteem. It is no wonder that other villages in the vicinity are now seeking assistance to replicate the project and improve the condition of their communities. The journey thus begun as a dream is translating itself into a reality. The lost hopes of vulnerable people are being transformed hour by hour, day by day, into a golden thread that will weave a fabric unlike any seen before. A silent revolution is taking place in the countryside and urban spaces of Pakistan. With renewed faith and confidence, the people are marching forward towards their manifest destiny of a better tomorrow.